The world of competitive eating is one of extremes. It's a spectacle where athletes push their bodies to the limit, consuming extraordinary amounts of food in record times. And at the heart of this strange sport lies the humble hot dog. But how did we get here? How did something as simple as eating become a competitive sport, with hot dogs taking center stage? This is the story of the history of competitive eating, with a special focus on hot dog eating contests. To understand the origins of competitive eating, we must first travel back in time. Throughout history, eating has always been more than just a necessity. In many cultures, the act of eating was a display of wealth, power, and celebration. Ancient Rome, for example, was famous for its lavish banquets where the elite would indulge in hours of feasting. But it wasn't just the quantity of food that mattered, it was also the ability to eat more than others that became a point of pride. Some of the earliest records of competitive eating can be found in various cultural rituals. In ancient India, eating competitions were held during religious festivals, where participants would consume large amounts of sweets and other foods as a form of offering to the gods. In Native American cultures, certain tribes held eating contests as part of their ceremonial practices, where the act of consuming food quickly and in large quantities was seen as a display of strength and endurance. As societies evolved, so too did the concept of competitive eating. Local festivals and fairs often featured pie-eating contests, where participants would race to finish as many pies as possible within a set time. These events were often held in rural communities and were seen as a way to bring people together, celebrating local produce and culinary traditions. It was during these times that the seeds of modern competitive eating were sown. The modern era of competitive eating began to take shape in the early 20th century, and it was in the bustling environment of Coney Island, New York, where one of the most iconic eating contests was born: Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest. Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest is said to have started on July 4, 1916, although some sources suggest that the first official contest may have occurred later. Regardless of the exact date, the contest quickly became a tradition, held annually on Independence Day. Legend has it that the contest was born out of a dispute among 4 immigrants, each claiming to be the most patriotic. To settle the argument, they decided to see who could eat the most hot dogs in one sitting. Over the years, the contest grew in popularity, drawing larger crowds and more participants. The rules were simple: eat as many hot dogs as you can within a set time limit. The winner would be crowned the champion and would often receive a modest prize, such as free meals at Nathan's for a year. But the real prize was the bragging rights that came with winning. By the 1970s, Nathan's hot dog eating contest had become a well-established event, but it was still relatively small compared to the spectacle it would later become. It wasn't until the 1990s that the contest began to take on a more professional and organized structure. The International Federation of Competitive Eating, IFOC, now known as Major League Eating, MLE, was founded in 1997. This organization brought a new level of legitimacy to the sport, establishing standardized rules, promoting events, and attracting media attention. The IFOC also introduced rankings for competitive eaters, turning it into a more structured and competitive field. As the contest grew, so too did the techniques and strategies employed by the competitors. The sport was no longer just about who could eat the most. It became a test of mental and physical endurance. Eaters developed specialized techniques, such as the Solomon method, where hot dogs are split in half before eating, and the Kobayashi shake, where eaters wiggle their bodies to help the food settle in their stomachs. The world of competitive eating changed forever in 2001 when a relatively unknown Japanese competitor named Takeru Kobayashi entered Nathan's hot dog eating contest. Standing at just 5'8" and weighing only 128 pounds, Kobayashi shattered all previous records by eating 50 hot dogs in 12 minutes, doubling the previous record. Kobayashi's dominance at Nathan's was unprecedented, and his success brought international attention to the sport. He wasn't just a novelty. He was an athlete who had trained rigorously for the event. Kobayashi introduced new techniques and strategies that revolutionized the sport, and his victories inspired a new generation of competitive eaters. Following in Kobayashi's footsteps, other competitive eaters rose to prominence. Joey Chestnut, known as Jaws, emerged as Kobayashi's fiercest rival. In 2007, Chestnut dethroned Kobayashi, eating 66 hot dogs in 12 minutes, setting a new world record. Chestnut's rivalry with Kobayashi became one of the most talked-about storylines in the world of competitive eating. But with the rise of competitive eating came controversies and challenges. The intense physical demands of the sport raised concerns about the health and safety of the participants. Critics argued that competitive eating glorified gluttony and promoted unhealthy behavior. There were also legal battles, such as the contract dispute between Kobayashi and Major League Eating, which led to Kobayashi's departure from the Nathan's contest in 2010. The health risks associated with competitive eating are real. Eaters can suffer from choking, stomach ruptures, and other serious medical conditions. The sport also faces criticism for promoting wasteful consumption in a world where many people go hungry. Despite these concerns, competitive eating continues to grow in popularity, with more contests being held around the world. Today, Nathan's hot dog eating contest is a global phenomenon, attracting tens of thousands of spectators and millions of viewers on television and online. Joey Chestnut remains the reigning champion, setting new records almost every year. In 2020, Chestnut broke his own record by eating 75 hot dogs in 10 minutes, a feat that seemed almost unimaginable just a few years earlier. The contest has also become a major media event, with ESPN broadcasting it live every year. The competitors are no longer just participants. They are celebrities with sponsorships, endorsements, and fan followings. The sport has even inspired documentaries, reality shows, and books, exploring the lives and motivations of the eaters. While hot dog eating contests are the most famous, they are just one part of the diverse world of competitive eating. From pies to wings, oysters to pizzas, almost every food imaginable has been turned into a competitive event. Each contest has its own unique rules, challenges, and champions. These contests attract a wide range of participants, from casual eaters to seasoned professionals. Some contests are held for charity, while others offer significant cash prizes. And just like in hot dog eating, the top competitors in these events have developed specialized techniques and strategies to maximize their performance. As we look to the future, the world of competitive eating continues to evolve. The COVID-19 pandemic forced many contests to go virtual, with eaters competing from their homes and submitting their results online. This new format has opened up the sport to a global audience, with competitors from around the world able to participate in events that were previously inaccessible. The future of competitive eating may also see new foods, new contests, and new champions emerge. As the sport grows, so too does the need for better safety measures and regulations to protect the health of the participants. But one thing is certain: as long as there are people who love food and competition, the world of competitive eating will continue to thrive. From its humble beginnings as a local contest on Coney Island to a global phenomenon, competitive eating has come a long way. It's a sport that challenges the limits of the human body and mind, and it's one that continues to captivate audiences around the world. Whether you see it as a celebration of culinary excess or a bizarre spectacle, there's no denying the unique place that competitive eating holds in the world of sports and entertainment. And at the center of it all, the hot dog remains the undisputed king. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of competitive eating, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. Until next time, keep exploring the world one bite at a time.